Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another First Impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII. This is the third entry in the Final Fantasy XIII series, and it was sent to me by Ecoplay Portugal so that I could have a look at it and give you guys my personal opinions on this title. And that is something that has been very, very challenging for me for the sole purpose of the fact that I'm having somewhat of a love/hate relationship with this title. That is to say that I love most of its features. I feel that it is a very solid title and it's got a lot of good things on it. And then I hate one specific feature. And that feature is the timer. I loathe it. I hate this timer with every fiber of my being. Now, since I haven't really finished the title yet, I'm not exactly sure how much this timer is that important, but just the fact that it is there, it has made my experience with this title a whole lot worse due to it, because I spend all the time that I'm playing this game, I spent all that time obsessing with that timer. And that's an interesting sentence. I spend all the time obsessing with that timer. But yeah, here's the thing. Like, I will go to great lengths to prevent time from passing by, such as there was a quest earlier in the game that demanded that I go and I find these symbols on walls throughout an entire city. And what I would do is I would find one symbol, save game. Then I would look around the whole city for the next symbol, at which point I would reload the game when I find the symbol and go straight to it and save again and repeat until I found all of the titles. So I've been somewhat obsessive with my behavior in this title. There's been a lot of loading and reloading. My save file says that I've spent about 7 hours with the game, and to be completely honest, I've probably spent over 10, just with 3 hours of loading and reloading the save file. Yes, I have been obsessed. So yeah, that one feature annoys the crap out of me. But apart from that, I think we have a pretty solid game here. So if you can overcome that particular feature, I think you will find that Final Fantasy XIII 3 Lightning Returns is actually a pretty good title. And I myself haven't played the previous Final Fantasy XIII titles, so I cannot talk too much about the differences between them, so to speak. But I do believe that the combat system in this title is quite unique and very different. Anyways, we're going to go down to the real world. In case you guys are wondering, this is the Ark. And supposedly here is where you have to come. Not supposedly, you do have to come here every single day at 6 a.m. to give away all the Iradia that you collect as you perform quests on the surface. And this Iradia is what extends the time that the world has left. You start out with 6 days, and supposedly you have to stretch that out as much as you possibly can so that you can save more and more souls. And saving more souls gives you access to more Iridia. And that Iradia, I'm not exactly sure what the name of the resource is, but that Iradia is basically one of your main goals as you're playing Final Fantasy XIII. 3. Lightning Returns. Also, whenever you come back to the Ark, which is every day at 6 a.m., usually Hope over there will leave presents for you. Like this over here is a new ability that I've gotten, which is the ability Arise, which allows me to resurrect myself once in battle by using some EPs that I have over there in the lower left corner. But before we get into too much technicality, let's just get ourselves to the surface. You guys have already seen the Ark. This is pretty much all there is to it, at least in the point of the game that I am right now. So let's get to the surface, and we are going to go to XIII. XIII, not exactly sure how to pronounce that. But either way, the reason we're going to be going to XIII, in case you guys are wondering, is because XIII, so far, has some of the easiest enemies that I have battled in the game. And you guys are like, so why are you showing us the easy stuff? Because this game is hard. Like, I'm playing on normal difficulty because they don't let you select hard at the start of the game. And thank God for that, because if they had, I would probably have put it to hard. And that would have been a mistake, because this game is hard enough on normal. At least for me personally, because I feel like I still haven't really mastered the combat system. And if you play on normal, trust me, you're going to want to really master the combat system. As a matter of fact, my advice is that if you do plan on purchasing Lightning Returns started on easy. And this is someone who constantly does Dark Souls challenge runs and all that other good stuff. And I am telling you, seriously, play this game on easy. Trust me. Now, we're going to be exploring a little bit of Yusnan, and I'm going to be showing you guys a typical quest, a side quest. We're not going to be doing any of the main quests because I do not want to reveal any of the plot spoilers or anything like that. So we're going to be focusing on a side quest, and let me just tell you guys something else before we get started, which is when you get to cities or these areas that you can actually freely explore, what is going to happen is monsters are going to spawn. Monsters or enemies, not necessarily all enemies are monsters. Like for instance, Lightning is a wanted criminal in this particular city. So if you see guards are probably going to go ahead and engage on you. Now, engagement works in a fairly standard JRPG manner, which is you see your enemies in the battlefield, and you will press R1 to initiate battle. Now, if the enemies get to you before you get to them and attack, they get an advantage and you lose 5% hit points throughout the duration of the battle. If you get to them, and depending on how good your attack is, you can get up to 25% less health on your enemies if you catch them by surprise. So I'm just saying that because I can already see that we have a couple of enemies ahead of us, and we're going to be starting our exploration sequence here by just going straight into combat. You guys might have noticed that there was a little bit of a dialogue before we got here. That dialogue is Hope S-Time, who is kind of guiding Lightning throughout the various missions and zones. It's actually good to hear that banter when you're actually playing and not recording a video, which happened to be the case. I think that banter actually adds to the experience. It's nice as you're just going through the city. Every now and then he will give you helpful tips and stuff like that. So far it hasn't gotten too, how should I put this? It hasn't gotten too annoying, although I guess that to some people maybe it will eventually get annoying. Also, if you're wondering, the game does allow you to go ahead and download Japanese voiceovers, although I have to say the English voiceovers so far have been rock solid, so I haven't really felt the need to switch the language just yet. But let's get to it. Let's start a combat here. As you can see, the enemies have aggroed onto us, and we engaged first, therefore we get the enemies with 10% less hit points. So now, let's talk about this combat system. So basically you have 3 suits. Each of these suits will have different abilities, or maybe even the same abilities. This is all customizable. And you will use these suits to conduct battle. If you look at the lower right corner, you will see the different abilities that I have here. I have Thundara, Blitz, Light Guard, Fire. These guys are weak to fire, I already know because I've been fighting them. So we're going to go ahead, cast a little bit of fire. As you can see, we basically took out that guy. No problems. This guy's about to go down too, so... Oh wait, I'm actually using the wrong spell here, aren't I? Let's just get something that will get you down quick and easy. Oh, what the hell? Did he just get healed? By what? Oh, the guard also heals, so they both heal each other. I wasn't aware of that. Live and learn, I guess. Anyways, I'm sorry, dude. You're not going to be healed anymore because I'm going to just destroy you. So good night. Now, all we have left is the guard here, which gives me a little bit of time to play around with the different suits and tell you guys about the different features, because these guards are actually fairly accessible. Wow, he's buffed the Kingdom Come, though. Anyways, if you guys notice on the lower left corner there is a bar, which is the ATB bar. There's actually 3 bars, because there's the one that's active that you guys can see. And there's 2 more bars. So the one that's active right now is bar red. And that is the equivalent of my Nocturne set, which I can do multiple skills, and every time that I do a skill with the Nocturne set, you will notice that the bar goes down. These were just a couple of, like, wind balls, whatever you want to call them. And this expends your ATB bar. So obviously, once your ATB bar is fully spent, you want to switch to another outfit. This other outfit will have different abilities, or maybe it will have the same, depends on your own playstyle. And if you notice, the red bar is recharging really, really fast as we are using this secondary outfit. And then we even have a third outfit. So you can have a grand total of 3 outfits every single time that you are in a fight. And you should take good care of these outfits, maintaining their abilities and all that stuff if you want to remain relevant in combat, because this is pretty much your bread and butter. So now, you have these 3 outfits, all of them with different abilities. Every time that you do an ability, you will notice that the bar goes down and you're forced to switch to another outfit. Also, when you block, your bar constantly drains. Now, I have guard on all of these outfits, but you don't have to. You can actually switch these abilities freely and customize them to your heart's content. It is actually one of the strong points of the title, how you customize each of these schematas is what they call them. It is one of the really strong points of the title that I really enjoy, because you can actually just mix and match. Like, for instance, the sword and shield that you see on this particular outfit, you can actually have them on any of the other ones. Like, I could have this suit with the other sword and shield, or this sword and shield with this suit, for instance. It is all up to you, however you want to get things done. So, another thing about the combat is that, as you can see, we're not really dealing that much damage. It takes quite a bit to kill enemies. However, there is a mechanic in place to prevent you from taking so long to kill enemies. As a matter of fact, a lot of the enemies are really, really tanky. So, what you want to do is, if you notice at the enemy's health bar, there's like a little wavy line. And once we start attacking him, you'll notice that that line starts going all over the place. So the more you can get that line to go crazy, that means that you're about to stagger your enemy. Now, this will involve you figuring out what are your enemy's weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So in this character, there is no particular weakness. He just takes normal damage from everything. So what you want to do is just try to overwhelm him with combos. So let's go ahead and get that. Oh, actually, I ran out of... there we go. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. Another one. Go, 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 go. Wow, he's still not getting overwhelmed. Let's try a little bit of Blizzard. There you go. Stagger. Once you stagger an enemy, he's going to take a lot of damage. I don't know. Lol. This guy, when he got staggered, he just started throwing out heals at me. He's going insane. But anyways, once the enemies are staggered, they're going to be taking a lot more damage. Usually, this guy just seemed to throw random heals. So, this whole mechanic demands that you really figure out the tells of your enemies so that you can properly block their attacks and figure out what makes them tick. Like, how can you deal the most damage to them? Because this guard is a fairly easy foe. But like, in the very first level that the game places you, I was just randomly exploring, and suddenly it's like, I'm killing these little tufts of hair, whatever these monsters there are around, and the game is just like, oh, so you're enjoying killing these guys? Why don't we go ahead and just put a dragon in front of you? And I was like, well, if the game is putting a dragon in front of me, I think it's reasonable to assume that I can take him on. Nope. Just flat out, nope. The game is going to go ahead and just rape your face if you let it. It is that simple. Like, if you see a dragon and you do not run away and you think that you can just take it on, you better be ready to either stagger the crap out of that dragon. Like, you better be knowing exactly what the patterns are so that you can block and you can do everything right, or you're going to get your ass handed to you. Which is why I said, if you are just starting out, you might want to consider starting the game on easy. Now, throughout the city you will also find several shops. And these shops will usually sell you either outfits or weapons or whatever. There are a lot of outfits in this game which give you different bonuses. Like, for instance, this particular outfit gives you additional strength, so it is an outfit favorable to melee. And then on top of the outfits, they also sell you a lot of customization options. Like, you can get a pair of shades, you can get patches for your arms, you can get hats, you can get all kinds of customization. Tails, because obviously since Lightning is a female, they're going to go ahead and try to get you to play dress up with her as much as they possibly can. As a matter of fact, I guess I could just show you guys the basics of customizing a schemata while we're at it. Like, if you see over here, we go to the schematas. These are the 3 schematas that I am using. This is the Nocturne schematic, which is schemata, which is probably my most powerful schemata simply due to the weapon that it's got, which is the Liberator. You cannot use the same weapon in the same schemata, or better yet, you can use the same weapon in different schematas, but you can only have it equipped once. So that forces you to basically not have the same sword and shield for every single schemata that you use. You have to really vary the kind of stuff that you equip on your character. So not just that, but you will also have to equip her with abilities, as well as some accessories like rings and whatever. This ring in particular gives me plus 15% melee damage, or strength, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, you can also mix and match. Like I can switch this sword for Devil's Daughters, Scramasax, Crimson Blitz, which are the only 4 swords that I have at the moment. And you can also switch the shield, and you can also switch the garb itself if you want to have a different garb. But I am using this combination. I'm not going to be fiddling too much with it. I just wanted to show you guys the possibilities that you have in terms of customization. Then you have the skills. Now, the way that I've been doing the skills in this game is usually I have square, I will usually have a melee skill in there. Triangle, I will usually have a ranged skill in there. And X, I will have block. And then circle is free. It's like you just put whatever you want in circle. Usually circle ends up being with the default skill that comes with the outfit, because there is one skill, or maybe more depending on the outfits that you eventually equip, and those skills will come with those outfits specifically. Like for instance, if you notice, there's a lock on this skill that I have selected here, attack level 2. That means that that particular skill is locked to this garb, so you cannot change that. You can change its position if you want, so like you can have it be triangle instead, but that ability is always going to be there. However, the rest of the abilities are pretty much customizable to whatever you want. Now there are multiple types of abilities. Like if you look here, this is for all the abilities. Then here you have the strike abilities, which are melee attacks. We have spark strike, we have a bunch of frost strikes. I believe that further ahead in the game I will be able to like merge these and get new skills, but at this point I can't really do anything with them, so I'm just kind of stashing them. But yeah, I have a bunch of frost strikes. I have spark strike, frost strike level 1, and then you have magic skills, which you have thunder, blizzard, arrow, thunder, blizzard, arrow, and these do exactly what you would think. Some do elemental lightning damage, others do elemental frost damage, others do elemental air damage. We also have fire damage as well. And then you have the blocks, which, as I've mentioned, you should also have a block in each of your garbs, but you're not forced to. It is completely up to you. So if you want to have like a specific garb for blocking, and you're able to coordinate that in your head and just like switch between garbs to that effectiveness, that is entirely up to you. And then you also have debuffs. So yeah, this is how you customize your schematas. Currently I have 3. I have this red mage, and if you notice the stats on the upper right corner, you will notice that my Nocturne set is just 1,000 times better than everything else because of that sword and shield. This is actually given to you really early on in the game, because I am, despite the fact that I spent like over 10 hours with the game, I am still fairly early on because I've been obsessing over the timer. So yeah, we have Nocturne, we have Red Mage, and if you notice the stats, there's a big difference. Nocturne is a little bit stronger in magic, but even the power I mean, Red Mage is a little bit stronger in magic than in melee, but even that, like my melee still has more magic damage. I need to better improve my schematas. And then we have this, which is the Ignition, which is basically an AoE schemata that I'm working on, although I haven't really perfected how it works just yet, because I don't have all the necessary skills to really fool around with it that much. And then for each schemata, you also have an adornment. This is purely aesthetic. So you can have a hat, you can have a beret, you can have a scholar's glasses, which is some of the stuff that you saw there, like the tails and whatever. You have one slot for each schemata that you can basically put stuff in. So yeah, that's something that you guys that like to play the recipe and whatnot can fool around with. There is also the possibility to fully edit the color of your garb. Like for instance, okay, I don't like purple, I like me some orange. Boom. The problem is it only works for the garbs, not the weapons, and that is the reason why I'm personally running with the other garb as purple, because I wanted to kind of match the weapons. Yeah, I know I'm playing a little bit of dress up myself. It's just I want the character to look cool as I am playing, and I think that most of these sets look fairly cool. Anyways, I think I've spent too much time talking about dress up, but it is a very important part of the game, so you guys would do well to keep that in mind. There's also some inns that you can rest at to recover your hit points and all that. There's another monster. Let's go ahead and get ourselves into some more trouble. I don't like cats anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just slaughter this one. So a usual fight would just go something like this. I would start experimenting. So we got Spark Strike here, which lets me see that he is resistant to both, he is resistant to physical damage, and he only takes half damage from lightning. So let's go ahead and try Arrow. So you can see there now that he does not take that much damage from magic either, but he does take normal damage from wind. Then you can still experiment with other things, like we have Blizzard here, and that he also only takes half damage, which means he probably takes a lot of damage from fire. So let's go ahead and go wild with the fire. Fire is normal and wind is normal, so you got to keep this in mind. However, if you notice, we are about to stagger him, at which point he's probably going to be a lot more vulnerable to everything we do, so just go crazy with it. I love Light Slash because Light Slash is a really good ability because it consumes very, very little of your ATB bar there. He's going to attack us, going to go ahead and block that. Holy crap! I did not know that he could make that much damage. You bastard, I've been here fooling around and you're just trying to trick me. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Now he's going to heal himself on top of things. I don't like that at all, good sir. However, he is taking a little bit of a beating on his stagger bar there, so let's go ahead and try to nail that a little bit more. We need to use some magic because magic seems to be causing him to stagger. Unleash magic attacks. Yeah, as you can see there, it will also register stagger conditions when you manage to successfully stagger enemies. So we basically need to go ahead and do magic as much as we possibly can. There you go. How do you like them apples, Schrodinger? You bastard. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there. Switch schematas, that's it. There's another mechanic that is called the overclock, but I don't want to use that on such a small little enemy, despite the fact that it really surprised me earlier, and he killed me. He just flat out killed me, the bastard. So I guess we're going to be using one of our abilities here, which is the Arise ability that allows us to resurrect in combat, but it is going to spend 3 EPs, which is a very limited resource that we have. And spending those 3 EPs means that we're only going to be left with 2. So you then have to kill more monsters to get more EPs as you play. Anyways, let's use this. And let's go ahead and engage on some more magical attacks. Why won't you stagger already? God damn it. As you can see, this is one of the things that I was telling you guys about, which is if you do not master the combat system, expect to get really frustrated. And we just had to spend 3 EPs on this fight. And as you can see, fighting these monsters does not give you that many EPs. We earned 0.22. So yeah, that was not good at all. Anyways, we did kill him and we're still at full hit points, so I guess we can thank that. Also, you can use these EP abilities off combat. You can use something like Kuraga to fully restore your hit points. However, I already have a fully restored hit point bar, so wouldn't do anything. But there are other abilities that you can use, like Chronostasis, which allows you to stop time for a short period. And then you have Teleport, which allows you to teleport from anywhere in the world to places that you've already been. However, let's see if we can actually get a quest done to show you guys what you should be doing throughout the game. Because if you guys notice over there to the right beneath the mini-map, there's a timer. And that timer is always running down. Like, you see we're standing still, not doing anything. That timer is running down. And this is one of the things that I obsess over, because if there's a quest that says, oh, why don't you go over here and find out where this thing is, and I'll spend like 1 hour looking for that one thing, 1 day's gone by in game, and you haven't done a thing. And you need to be completing these quests, because if you don't complete these quests, you are basically not going to be able to slow down the destruction of the world, and therefore you will not complete your objective and save souls and all that. Anyways, we now have a soldier here that we also need to take care of. So let's get into combat. And like I said, I love the combat system. I think the combat system is one of the strongest points in this game because once you get familiar with stuff, instead of playing around as I was earlier doing, it's just a very engaging combat system, but you have to really, really master it. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed. Like as you can see there, we just staggered him. So now let's move away a little bit. And let's switch to our AoE one. Well, actually, the AoE one's the blue one, and it is still reloading. So let's go do that now. Blitz. And I would love to do Thundar, but I wasn't able to. So let's get to the personal guard here. The other two dudes that are healing him are somewhat staggered and stunned and all that. And they're going to try to heal him for now. So all I really got to do is just keep the pressure on him, and it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Ooh, Blitz. I hadn't really used Blitz before, and I really, really like it. And that takes care of that. So like I said, it's just, you can't hesitate in combat at all. You need to get your process done, understand how combat works, really nail down what each monster is weak against, and then just completely wrecking their face. Now I know that there was a quest here, although it doesn't seem to be active yet. So we might have to go ahead and forward time a little bit. Okay, so we found a hotel and rested until 11, and as you guys could probably see, I'll try to put it on screen now. I did a little bit of exploration too. Exploration is highly rewarded, except it's also heavily penalized because it takes you time to explore and find items in a city, which is what I was doing. And the problem is, it's like you get rewarded because you find these items, but you also get penalized because you lose time. Now, under normal circumstances, I would never rest at an inn to fast forward time because I think that you never have enough time in this game. At least that is my constant belief. So under normal circumstances, I would probably have never done that, to rest at an inn. And the only objective to really rest at inns is to get your hit points back. So I don't really think that there's much of a point to it. You're better off just buying potions or eating at a restaurant or something, unless you're specifically trying to make time move forward, which is what I really wanted to do, because there was a quest, like I told you guys, there was a quest that I wanted to show you, and that quest was only going to start at 11, so that's kind of why we had it to move time forward. Anyways, we're going to be going for that quest now, which should give you guys a good idea of the quality of cinematics, as well as the quality of the talks and all of that. Obviously, cinematics for main quests are going to be a lot cooler with better animations and all that, but let's just do a side quest here.
Want to tell me about it?
What good would that do? You can't teach me how to sing again, can you?
You forgot how to sing?
My voice is just gone. I can't hold a note anymore.
Are you sure you're not sick or something?
My heart may be. The cruel bastard, he left me.
And you think he took your voice with him?
You don't understand what it is to perform, do you? He's not just my lover. He's written all my best hits. We were an unbeatable partnership. But then he up and left, leaving nothing but his songs behind. I tried to sing them, but I'm so angry at him I just can't get the words out.
So you're not heartbroken, just angry?
I don't expect you to understand.
You're right about that. I don't understand at all.
Wait a second. Would you be willing to go and find him for me? I'll make it worth your while. My word is good, I promise.
Why are you asking me?
Because there's no danger he'd fall for you and forget about me.
And then you get this quest information screen that basically tells you what they want you to do. This girl wants you to find Birdie, and Birdie is supposedly going to be one of the NPCs that's around here. You accept the quest, get this nice little interface.
Don't hate me if he does fall for me.
If he does, I'll hunt you down, tear your hair out, and claw your eyes. Do I make myself clear? Anyway, his name is Birdie. He's the kindest, most gentle man in the whole city. He should be easy to find in a sea of undesirable men.
That's really not much of a lead, but I'm willing to help you out.
What prompted you to take on such a strange job?
I don't know.
And here's Birdie. Oops, wrong button.
The city must... Hey, why are you running from me? I just want to talk.
I don't know any Olga. I mean...
It doesn't take a genius to figure out you know her. Do you know anything else about her? Like, where her missing lover is?
Oh, I can't keep this secret for any longer. I just can't. I have to confess it to someone, and it might as well be you. I'm her lost lover.
Is this your idea of a joke?
No, it's true, I swear. My name is Birdie. You know, the songwriter? I promised her my undying love, but now I don't dare face her. I unwittingly lost the 354th song I wrote for her.
Wait a minute. Did you say 354? That's a lot of songs.
Well, you know, I had a few centuries.
You didn't run out of ideas?
Ideas come easy. I picture my Olga, and the melodies just come to me fully formed, as if from another world.
Huh. Better to be lucky than good, I guess.
But a dark cloud has blotted out the sun of our radiant love, in the form of a frightful monster that suddenly attacked me and stole that song away. Which, incidentally, brings me to the favor I want to ask. I'm sure you can guess what it is.
Why don't you spell it out for me, just to be sure?
Well, I was thinking that you could get my music back from that, monster. I'd give you a reward. Please?
You and Olga. Neither of you mind asking strangers for favors, do you?
Retrieving the satchel. Birdie's satchel was stolen on the beach in the lower city. Head to the far end of Central Avenue, go down the steps and defeat the monster that stole the satchel. And you guys might be wondering, so why exactly are you doing these quests when the world's about to end and all of that other stuff? Why are you just running around doing errands? Because here's the thing. You don't actually level up in Final Fantasy 13-3. The way that you can get additional stats and all that other stuff is by doing these quests. So since the main quests are pretty hard on normal, what I usually end up doing is do as many side quests as I possibly can to level up my character. And once you level up enough that you feel that you're strong to take on that you feel that you're kind of strong enough to take on the more hard quests, then you can go ahead and try out for the main quest. Like I said, this game is very hard when you're playing on normal. So the best way for you to kind of like power up your character is do these side quests. Oh crap, not this guy. This is a monster that's actually pretty challenging. A lot more challenging than I was really ready to face right now, so I might just go ahead and skip him. Excuse me. There is no particular reward for defeating monsters apart from gold and EP, which is the thing that allows you to do all of those special abilities and stuff. So if you want to skip monsters, you really shouldn't have that many problems to do it. Obviously, you still might get skills when you kill monsters and stuff like that. Additional skills that you can then put on your schematas. These things that I told you guys about. You might get some of these skills when you kill monsters. But ultimately, killing monsters is not really that advantageous. Which is a shame, really, because killing monsters is one of my favorite parts of the game. Anyways, we are now in what is considered a chaos zone. Well, we're not in it yet. It is that little bubble that you guys see there with the checkerboard pattern. This is a chaos zone. What that means is once you go in there, monsters are stronger. You will get... Oh, damn it. Why did the chaos zone go away? Anyways, once you enter a chaos zone, monsters are actually stronger inside that zone, and they constantly regenerate. So you need to really consider if you want to go inside one of those zones. Anyways, we got this Skatane here, so we're going to go ahead and just hack away at him. I'm not exactly sure what his weaknesses are, because I haven't really fought a whole lot of these guys. Okay, lightning seems to work okay. Oops. Wow. And he's staggered, so let's see. Attack when the enemy is launching an attack. Okay, so his stagger conditions is you need to basically try to interrupt his attacks, and he is weak to fire. Well, that's good to know. It's too bad I don't have Fire Strike. That would have been useful. Anyways, let's try to get a little bit more of damage in on him. There's two camera angles that you can use while in a battle. As you can see, there's this more near camera, kind of like more cinematic. And then there is a camera angle that is further apart, which is the one that I prefer to use. You can set that as default for when you're fighting. And I would highly advise it unless you are playing on easier or something, because you will need to have better battle awareness when you're playing this game on normal. Because in case I haven't mentioned yet, this game is plenty hard. Damn it. Even this guy is just kicking my ass. Once again, just bear in mind I haven't really mastered the combat system yet, despite the amount of hours I've placed on it. And sometimes it still feels kind of awkward because you're trying to do an attack and it's like, oh, it's not working because you don't really have enough action points in your schemata or whatever. Anyways, we're going to be doing, we're going to take a potion here because we are below half health. You can also take potions during combat, and these are the monsters, I believe, that stole the music satchel from the other guy, so we're going to have to go ahead and kill these. And the problem with this is that there is a ton of them, which means it's actually time for me to test out... Damn it. I wanted to test out AoE, but these guys are actually really far away. You can switch between targets by using the D-pad, and these guys heal each other too, which is great. So, but in order for me to properly use my AoE, I need for them to be all together. Let's try this. And get a blitz in there. Damn it, I only hit one. It's so frustrating to get these guys because it just takes a long time to actually kill them. But actually, now that I have Light Slash, because last time I was here I didn't have Light Slash, I guess Light Slash can do quick work of them. The weak point of these guys is melee. Everything else is pretty much normal. So, since Light Attack costs very, very little to actually cast, it's actually a pretty decent skill to have. Also, my attack over here in this suit is level 2, so it deals a ton more damage. So you can get some staggers off that way. Then we can switch back to Light Slash there. Light Slash is a very good skill against people who are weak against melee, because you can just combo them to death. This guy over here staggered in one hit with a heavy attack. Same here again, and boosh!
Better get ready for the next fight.
And I think that we should have completed the quest now, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, music satchel there. So now we basically go back and deliver this to the guy, and he is going to give us a couple of more stats and all that kinds of good stuff. We got an enemy here. Might as well take this guy out as well. This guy's weak point is magic, if I remember correctly. So you can just focus on magic and you should take him out fairly easy. As you can see, he's already staggered. Now he's taking a ton of damage from that. And I'm actually going to go in with Blitz, stagger him again, even though Blitz is really magical. But there. Once you know the weak points of each of the enemies, you can usually do fairly good, but every now and then the enemy will throw a curveball at you, and you might find yourself struggling like I did earlier. Anyways, right now I'm just gonna straight up run to the guy that we have to go to, because I still wanted to show you guys another one of the locations that you can play in this particular game, because like I said, one of the really cool things about this game, actually I don't think I've said it yet. This is the second time I'm recording this video, sorry. But this game is very much open, as in a lot of people, I believe, complained that the very first Final Fantasy XIII was very closed and it was very linear. It was a very linear experience. Wait, before I continue, hold that thought. Whenever you find people in the city that have a dialogue symbol, you should always talk with them, because either they will give you with useful information, or they might give you a quest. So you should always talk to everyone you find in the city. In this case, this guy isn't really going to tell us anything of use, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip that for the purpose of this video. But just keep that in mind, that you should talk to everyone that you meet in the city, because that is one of the ways of unlocking and finding new quests. But as I was saying, so Final Fantasy XIII, the very first title, was really just streamlined and linear, and this title is completely the opposite. You have access to pretty much the entire game from the get-go. I mean, you start in the city, you do a little bit of a tutorial. Damn you, guard. You start in the city, you do a little bit of a tutorial, but after that, you're free to go pretty much wherever you want, which is a really good thing, I find. The problem with that is, though, that, like I said, they have no issues sending you to your death. you'll have to find for yourself whether or not your level is appropriate for the location that you're in right at any given point in the game. Oh, you guys are being annoying. How about we do this? Oh, wasn't that cool, boys? Have some magic. Actually, I need some fire, so... How about Buster Rune? Does that do anything? No, it doesn't do that much damage to these guys. So let's go ahead and just Pandara all over your faces and then just do a little bit of a fire combo there. And just get some Spark Strike going. It doesn't deal that much damage, but it will stagger him fairly easy. So sometimes if you have an attack that's not dealing that much damage, but is causing your enemy to stagger, it's still a good attack to perform, because as soon as you get his ass staggered, he's yours. Anyways, once again, just bear in mind, I'm not doing the best usage of my schematas. I'm still trying to optimize that stuff. Now then, who should I hand this quest over to? Birdie? I guess.
Thank you. I can finally return to Olga and present her with my new song.
Where have you been all this time? Don't you realize that people were actually worried?
Olga, my love, be still my beating heart. To hear your dulcet tones again, it's a dream come true.
Is she beating the crap out of him? I guess we don't get to see. We just see Lightning's reaction. Oh, he got beat up.
Oh, it was very clever of me to ask for your help. Thank you for bringing Birdie back safe and sound. We artists are cursed with sensitive souls and our hearts are easily broken.
So that's how you treat sensitive souls, huh?
If you're talking about the way I speak to Birdie, everything I say comes from love. In any case, I owe you a favor. Olga shall sing for you. It's your favorite song, or so I've told.
How would you know my favorite song?
It's not a bad song, it has its moments, but it doesn't compare to the sublime melodies that Birdie writes.
Is he really as good as you say he is?
Absolutely. Of course, I'd never tell him that. His head is already big enough as it is. Now I have a song to sing for an audience of one. I hope you feel grateful. This is a very, very rare treat, you know. Normally I only sing for Birdie or a paying audience, and I assure you, tickets to my shows are not cheap.
Thanks, but tell me one thing. How do you know my favorite song? Who did you talk to find out?
A young girl called herself Lumina. Now, Evans, if you would.
Ooh. That was actually an interesting little quest there. I'm not going to tell you guys too many details of the story and whatnot, but that was interesting. So we got 1400 Jill and Queen's Mask, which is one of those things that I told you guys about that you can customize your schematas with. And this is how you level up. See? Maximum hit points plus 80, strength plus 6, magic plus 6. So you have to do as many of these quests as possible so that you can actually level up your character. Grinding monsters will get you no levels whatsoever. And when you complete these quests, they also give you this, which is the Iradia resource that I told you guys about previously. Actually, sorry guys, I had to skip that because there was a little bit of a spoiler there. But anyways, now we're going to be heading off to a different location just to show you guys how ambience can actually be varied in this title. And we are going to be using an EP ability, which is Teleport. And we're going to be teleporting to the Wildlands. I think I'm actually going to go to the Arius village. Now, as you explore the world and you find out different locations, you will eventually be able to teleport everywhere that you have been to. At least everywhere that's a reasonable location to have a teleport waypoint to. And in this particular place that we're in right now, this is probably the... Let's say if the game has 5 locations, this is the location where I have progressed the most. And as you can see, there's a chocobo over here called Phoenix. I called him Phoenix. And this chocobo is a chocobo that I found. I fought a boss to save him, and I healed him up. And after I healed him up, I was able to ride it. Which, to a lot of Final Fantasy fans, like I said, the last title that I've played of Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VIII, and I remember that I got to ride a chocobo in that game at some point, and it was a lot of fun, so I guess that this is going to be somewhat appealing to the Final Fantasy fans. I don't necessarily consider myself a Final Fantasy fan because I haven't really played Final Fantasy that much, but yeah. this is pretty much the game in a nutshell. You're going to be doing a lot of those side quests, and then you're going to be doing the main quests, which I really don't want to show you to prevent spoilers and all that. But yeah, the main quests have a lot of cinematic cutscenes, which have really cool animations as well. The game in terms of graphics is solid, with the exception that the models of the non-main characters are not that amazing. But the main characters' models are just awesome. Oh look, we have a new monster here. I wonder if we can use the chocobo to climb ladders. I guess not. I wonder what's in here. These are locations that I haven't really been to. I'm just kind of like wandering around aimlessly. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit more of the world. As you can see, there's a lot of variety, and it is a pleasure exploring this world. If it wasn't for the fact that the game is constantly taunting you with that timer running down. Let's do a battle here with the chocobo so that you guys can see, because the chocobo actually gets involved in the battle as well. So, have I fought these guys before? Yeah, it looks like we got halved lightning, halved magic, actually normal magic, normal melee, halved wind. Okay, let's see what we got in blizzard. Oops, heaven. There. He is resistant to blizzard, and let's see what we got in terms of fire. Ooh, that is very vulnerable to fire, my friend. You're so vulnerable to fire, it's not even funny. You're already staggered, my boy. Now let's just go with light attacks. Should be able to just take him out since he's staggered and all that. Actually, look at you fighting back. Okay, here you go. Have some more fire then.
My tears fall into the chaos.
And slashed.
Expected as much.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but the chocobo fights, he attacks the enemies, and every now and then he heals you up a little bit. Not too much, just throws up a little bit of a heal in your general direction. But yeah, it's a lot of fun fighting with the chocobo and just generally fooling around in the wildlands, because this, like I said, this has been the place that I've progressed the most. And even still, I had to smash my face against a really hard boss for like 2 or 3 hours. Also, when you find these boxes out in the world, you can press R1 to break them down. And sometimes you'll find these things, these silvered medals, which I believe is vendor trash, but you get some money out of it, so it's always nice. And every now and then you might find something a little bit more useful, like I believe was the case in the city. No, in the city we were doing the other boxes, the circle boxes. The spherical boxes even. Anyways, in terms of how good the game is, it is extremely solid. The one downside that I have is the timer. I know that I've complained a lot about the timer. That's because it really, really bothers me. Because, like, I want to just grab this chocobo, right? Because, I mean, this save file that I'm playing on right now, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go back to where I was because, like I said, I'm going to obsess over the time I have left. But one of the things that I would like to do is just grab my character, grab this chocobo, and run around through these lands just for as long as I wanted to. Just explore, just see the wilds, you know? And it's like the game mechanics don't really support that. It's like, no, you need to do stuff. You need to do quests. You need to play this game the way we want. And I guess it's kind of to promote multiple playthroughs, because you probably won't get everything right the first playthrough unless you're watching a walkthrough or something like that. So they probably want you to play once and then play it again and then play it again. And it's like, look, I get it, but even still, I would have really just preferred, look, just have time advance when I complete a quest or something, and then you have to select between different quests which ones you want to complete. Something like Persona 4 Golden style, like, okay, you want to spend some time with this person, time's going to move forward, you know? That kind of stuff. That would have been a lot better, because at least you would have been able to explore at a leisurely pace instead of constantly feeling rushed to do something. And on top of that, there's the fact that certain areas of the game will only be open at certain hours, certain quests will only be available during certain hours, and certain events will only happen at certain hours. And you don't even know what those events are, you know? And you can't even spend that much time exploring because you don't have that much time to begin with. Maybe I'm just obsessing over the whole timer thing, I don't know. But either way, that's kind of the way that I feel. Apart from that, extremely solid game. Every now and then you will see a little bit of a drop in frame rate during certain cinematics. That is because this game is pretty much pushing the PlayStation 3 to its limits, and it is a gorgeous looking game. It is a really beautiful game. The animations are rock solid. You guys know that I am a sucker for animations, and I love the animations in this title. I love the combat. I love pretty much everything about it, except for the fact of that timer. I even love the fact that it's ridiculously challenging and super hard, and you have to really figure out the patterns of your enemies. I just wish I wasn't on a time schedule and I could take my time beating up enemies. Because if you lose against an enemy, you can either reload a save game, or you can lose a whole hour of game time. So yeah. Anyways, as per usual, leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.